Hi, I'm State Representative Jenny Graham, coming to you from the Capitol in Olympia, Washington. I'm going to be talking to you about a couple of bills that were introduced this session. One of these bills is House Bill 1087. It is concerning fentanyl and the harm that this terrible drug is doing to our community. The idea behind the bill is expanding the crime of endangerment with a controlled substance to include fentanyl and other high-potency synthetic opioids. We have yet had another mother lose one of her children in Spokane. It's absolutely heartbreaking. It seems like every time I turn around, there's another child, somebody's loved one, that is dying from this drug. I would like to bring one of the mother's voices to the People's House in Olympia, for her to be heard on how this has affected not only her child, but so many others. There has to be something I can do, by Deborah Testa. Today, while I was struggling to fit wood into my car in a Lowe's parking lot, a teenage boy asked me if he could help me. I said no thank you and climbed into my car to put the seat down. The boy was coming down from a fentanyl high and looking for money to get his next high. How did I know this? I knew because I lived it for 2 years. I know more about the signs and effects of that poison than any mother should ever have to know. When I turned back to get more wood from the cart, he was still there. He asked me if I had any money he could buy food with. I took a deep breath and made eye contact with him. I told him that right now, this very second, while you are trying to get money for your next high, there is someone whose heart is broken with worry about you. His surprised look, followed by guilt, let me know that he knew exactly whose heart he was breaking. I told him that the agony he goes through every time he goes through withdrawals doesn't compare to the agony he's putting that person who loves him through. Knowing he is destroying himself. Tears were running down his face. I told him that I know how brutally hard it is to get off of fentanyl, but if he keeps using it, he will only destroy himself and everyone who loves him. I asked him if he knew how to contact people who love him, and he nodded yes. I asked him if he knew they would help him to get off of fentanyl, and he said yes. I said, then that's what you need to do. Our state legalized this poison, and it's killing our kids. Fentanyl is the most addictive and deadliest drug ever created. The first time my son at 17 overdosed and the paramedics saved him, I called the police. I found his stash and I wanted him arrested. I was shocked to learn that he hadn't done anything illegal. I was told it's not illegal for him to use or to have it. It's only illegal to sell it. The police wouldn't even take his stash to dispose of it safely. They said they don't touch it. It's toxic. These kids need help. Their families need help. There has to be something that we can do. I can do. I don't know how to battle a drug as strong as fentanyl, but I have to try. I've been praying for years and I will continue to pray, but I need to actively do more. Compared to most people, I don't go out and about very often. I have MS. Since I put my now 19-year-old son on a plane to Texas, where drugs are not illegal, after I found him not breathing again, and that time, the only reason he survived was because I spent 15 minutes pounding air into him until the ambulance arrived. Since then, I repeatedly get approached in parking lots by a version of the boy today. It happened in Airway Heights, Liberty Lake, South Hill, and North Spokane. Until today, I only responded with a very angry no. And inside, I wanted to shake them and scream at them to go home to your mother. I would spend the rest of the day crying. I realized that maybe God has been answering my prayers by having these versions of my son repeatedly approach me. I don't know about that. What I do know is that knowing that right now, a few minutes drive away, kids are destroying their lives before they have even a chance to live it. Knowing that I consider it my obligation to try to do something. Is there anyone out there who also wants to try to figure out how to help these kids? I really exposed myself by putting up this post. I understand if you don't want to reply. You can message me. If enough of us put our heads together, we can come up with a way to help. At least we will be trying instead of just doing nothing while kids are dying. Another bill that was introduced this session by Senator John Braun is Senate Bill 5071. This is on the same lines of the bill that I introduced. It expands the scope of the crime of endangerment with a controlled substance to include fentanyl and synthetic opioids, not just substances related to methamphetamine. And it lowers the mental state required for conviction from knowingly and intentionally to knowingly and recklessly. This bill is still alive, and it has bipartisan support. I'm coming to you with a call to action. I'm asking you to reach out to all of the state representatives and the Speaker of the House, Lori Jenkins, and ask if they would please pull this bill to the floor for an up or down vote and allow the elected representatives of this state to vote on this bill. Let's take action. Let's move to save lives. Let's do it today. Thank you for listening.